Fridays around here are a little looser. The format, the content, hell, even the topics. We've had Battlefield 6 in heavy rotation since launch, so what are we doing today? Well, I wanted to drop a personal update on my experience with Gray Zone Warfare. I started covering it last week, and I figured we'd keep the war journal going. A bunch of you showed interest in the developing game, so we're back to talk about it and what I've run into lately. The good, the weird, and the, well, that happened. And for my regulars, it's snack time. If you're new to the channel, here's the fine print. I'm just a casual gamer who likes talking about the games I play. I'm not into drama, I'm not into rage baiting, and I'm not hyping or trashing games for clicks. I'm just a dude who enjoys games and shares the experience. So with that said, let's hop on a chopper and get into the bushes. Okay, so before we get into this, I dropped this poll about refining what we cover here. So obviously there's some interest in war dogs. I get it. So to keep you guys updated, I requested to be added to the playtest group for war dogs. I received a survey regarding said playtest. The survey included questions about my setup, other games I play, things like that. I received a message that if and when a spot becomes available, I will be notified. Once I receive that notification and it says I'm in, I'll let you lot know. Further, I am going to see about buying into the access of the beta phase of Bellum. I know the 3 games I listed are currently PC only, and there's some feedback about Bellum being an independent launcher and not available on Steam. I am aware of these tidbits of information, and I am always keeping them in mind for not only my PC viewers, but for my console viewers as well. It's a weird balancing act to cover games I like playing and that are on all the platforms. If a game I'm covering isn't on your platform, man, I still hope you decide to watch anyway. Not so much for the channel's numbers, but simply because you enjoy the vibe here. Also, I discovered another game this week that's currently in development, and I'm seriously looking at it with great interest. It's a gorgeous looking little game. Right now it's available to wishlist on Steam, but I'm not seeing anything about early access or playtesting, so I'll circle back around to it when I have more for you. Meanwhile, we're fresh off of Wednesday's video on Battlefield 6's Naval Warfare Dump, where I went over what we know so far and I hinted at some concerns about the new massive map sizes inbound for Season 4. If you haven't watched it yet, go check it out. I'm interested in everyone's thoughts about what's covered in it. Right now, though, we're having a different vibe today in Gray Zone Warfare and some of the things I learned and how this game is different beyond the usual suspects of an arcade shooter versus a more tactical mil-sim-ish shooter. Okay, so, as I mentioned in Wednesday's video, I was left unsupervised and apparently chose the wrong faction in Gray Zone. And as of right now, the game allows for only one character. I'm not sure if it will ever change, but for right now, the only way that you can switch factions is a full wipe of your character. I think I made it to level 7 or 8 by that time, so wiping wasn't a big deal. Just something to think about if any of you dive into this game. If you gotta wipe, it's best to do it early, not when you're starting to climb the ranks of the 20s or higher. Okay, so I wiped and I joined up with my buddy and we ran missions to get back to where I was in level as fast as we could. I got back to about level 8 in a few hours, so it's not a god-awful grind. This too could change as the game develops. Since the game is pretty much an open beta for anyone who purchases the deluxe edition or higher, it gives us plenty of time and room to explore. Not just the map, but everything. It's going to be a hot minute before this game fully releases, and there's a ton of things that will most likely change. For example, the max level of the vendors is currently at level 4. Doesn't take long for grinding to get there, and once there, that's it. You could essentially lose all your gear and weapons if you die in PvE zones, and simply just not go back for it. as you could simply buy it all back from the vendors without missing a beat. Because by the time you get them to level 4, you have a ton of cash in your pocket from running the missions, and they can be repeated. Seems after a while, the older missions pop back up, mostly the main ones. And speaking of deaths, I was given a really good, solid weapon and ran some missions together with my buddy. After he logged off, I came back to the game to record footage for future use, and I died. I got caught with my pants down and ambushed trying to run across the street in Nam Thaven. See, the No Man Left Behind mission was just completed, and the next one up was just up the street. Now, I thought I cleared the right, and I did notice the NPCs on the left. And unfortunately, there wasn't a good angle to best engage them from the position I was in, so I ran across the street. And caught a bullet. Okay, it wasn't a big deal. I had surgical packs and bandages, but while I was healing up, I seemed to have missed one from the right on the other side of the street and caught another bullet from him and died. Still not a big deal, but I made the mistake of just jumping back on a chopper without gear to retrieve my things. Now, walk with me here. I didn't think it was going to be too much of a big deal. My body was next to a building, so I figured hop onto the chopper immediately, armed with only a knife, retrace my steps, retrieve my things, and go on from there. Well, my second character died as I was trying to get to my first dropped body. By the time I finally got to where the body was, it had disappeared. And no, I forgot to have my GPS on my gear to find my body easier and faster. I even had a random player offer to help me find it. He noticed I wasn't wearing anything and quickly determined that I had just died and offered to help. Unfortunately, I wasn't recording this at the time, so I have no idea who it was that tried to help. If he ever catches this video and remembers, I do appreciate the assist, sir, even if retrieval wasn't successful. Anyway, I soon got back to base and reloaded up, having plenty of cash in my pockets, and got back out there. So, keep all that in mind. GPS tracker and don't go in naked. Remember, this game is basically an active, constantly updating beta access to anyone who buys the minimum deluxe edition of the game. While playing this week, the game had a recent update. The devs even mentioned more is to come. Check it out.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Gray Zone Warfare Spearhead. In today's devlog, we're looking back at the update 0.4 launch, our recent efforts to polish the release, and our future plans to enhance your Gray Zone Warfare experience with more fixes, balancing changes, stability improvements, new features, and yes, maybe even new content. As always, there's a lot to cover, so let's get right into it. Before we talk about the supporter preview and the launch itself, however, I do owe you an apology. I may have left out one important detail in our previous devlogs introducing the Spearhead update.
Oh my god!
Oops, my bad. Thanks for the clips though. Jokes aside, let's briefly talk about the supporter preview that preceded the launch. Over 60,000 supporters jumped in early to test Spearhead, and your feedback played a massive role in shaping the final release. Thanks to you, we were able to re-evaluate some of the less popular editions and make last-minute adjustments that helped deliver much smoother experience for those that came after. These changes, along with a large number of bug fixes of course, included the removal of overly aggressive suppression mechanic,
Oh, the blur is so bad.
and the reduction in how quickly your gear degrades. So once again, thank you for your feedback and for supporting the project. You guys are legends. Wear those supporter morale patches with pride. Moving on, following the release we deployed 3 hotfixes. These hotfixes focused on stabilizing the game and addressing the most critical issues reported by the community. We're talking about mostly crashes, task system issues, and AI shooting through walls in Midnight Sapphire. That was... yeah, yikes. The hotfixes also supported our Twitch Drops campaign. We really do hope you enjoyed it and you got yourself some cool drip. These hotfixes, by the way, were just the first step. But now, behold, patch 041. It was released just a few days ago and it took things to the next level. This update focused on improving server stability, refining combat, and addressing several key gameplay issues. Here are some of the most important changes. We rebalanced ammo and adjusted its penetration capabilities.
You see that guy just like, the bullets just like ricocheting off the guy's freaking armor.
We also tweaked the ricochet behavior. Both these changes should help improve the combat lethality. We improved the AI responsiveness. We fixed two zeroing issues. One where zeroing reset after exiting ADS, and another where some scopes couldn't be zeroed at all. We also introduced several fixes related to the task system. A range of UI fixes was also introduced, mainly around the locker and inventory management. A fix for the bug that allowed players to be shot through stairs in Midnight Sapphire was deployed. And we fixed multiple technical and rendering issues affecting your frames, resolution quality, and server stability. We did experience a few server crashes over the past 2 weeks, which was not great, but fixes introduced in patch 041 should really help with that a lot. All in all, you should now see a much more stable experience. This is the kind of patch that doesn't just fix problems, but actively improves how the game feels moment to moment. And all of that because of your polite feedback. Now, let's talk about what's coming next. Over the next few weeks, we're planning 4, maybe even 5 additional patches to support the Spearhead release and to further build on it. Other than shit ton of bug fixes, crash fixes, and optimization improvements, here's what you can look forward to in the near future. A brand new indicator of player visibility. This indicator is affected by your concealment, weather effects, light conditions, movement speed, and whether or not you're using a suppressed weapon. We plan on populating some of the smaller locations with new gangs of AI enemies and boosting their numbers in some bigger locations. You can also expect more tweaks to the AI affecting their behavior and, be careful, their difficulty. We are working on improvements to the task system, namely we're addressing their availability and repetitiveness. Expect improvements to the vendors and the in-game economy. We will be introducing a new long-term contract system where your objectives will be displayed directly on your tactical map. NVIDIA GPU users, you can look forward to DLSS 4.5 support. We also plan to make the nights even darker. And we're working on squad task sharing, something all of you have been asking for. So while Spearhead is already a massive step forward, we are far from done. Now let's move on from the development part. There's one other really pleasant thing that we would like to talk to you about. We are nearing the 2nd anniversary of Gray Zone Warfare entering early access. To celebrate this milestone, we are planning a community stream on April 30th, where we are going to host an in-game event with content creators, devs, and you, the community. We are also running an anniversary sale on our website grayzonewarfare.com till the end of this month. Save up to 25% on the base game or any of its editions. And if you miss it, don't worry, you can still grab the supporter edition on Steam with a 10% discount. If you've been thinking about jumping in, now is a really good time. And if you find yourself enjoying Gray Zone Warfare Spearhead, consider leaving us a Steam review. It really helps us grow and reach more players. Thanks again for being with us, take care, and as always, every move matters.
Okay, so Jacob provides a devlog, what's next after Spearhead, serving as a post-launch retrospective for the .4 Spearhead update and roadmap for the immediate future of the game. He goes over Spearhead .4 launch and hotfixes, the supporter preview success, saying over 60,000 players tested the preview, leading to the removal of an overly aggressive suppression mechanic, which had a heavy blur, and a reduction to gear degrading speed before the public launch. He continues with stabilization, explaining that following the launch, 3 hotfixes were deployed to address crashes, task system bugs, and the AI shooting through walls issue in the Midnight Sapphire region. Recently released was the .4.1 patch, and he highlights combat lethality, basically a rebalance ammo penetration mechanic and adjusted ricochet behavior to make gunfights feel more consistent. Technical fixes, such as addressing zeroing bugs on scopes, fixes AI responsiveness and optimized rendering to improve frame rates and server stabilities. He even covers the current roadmap and what's coming next. The devs are planning 4 to 5 additional patches in the coming weeks. Key features in development include Player Visibility Indicator, which is a new AI element influenced by weather, lighting, movement speed, and suppression. An AI overhaul to allow more of populating smaller locations with more enemies and increased difficulty and behavior variety in larger hubs. In-game economy, like improvements to vendor tasks and long-term contract system that tracks objectives directly on the tactical map. And of course, some quality of life improvements, such as squad task sharing, apparently highly requested by the player base, and darker night environments. He even touches on support for DLSS 4.5 for NVIDIA users in the second anniversary events by stating we're going to get community streams, which is scheduled for April 30th, featuring an in-game event with developers and creators, an anniversary sale for up to 25% off the game and its additions through the end of April, even a sale on Steam if you choose to buy it that way. There's a lot going on here for those interested in playing. Right now, we have quite a few people in the Discord who either have it and are actively playing it, will be buying it this week to join in, or have interest in it because they want it to be available for console. Now, the devs at MADFINGER Games intend to launch the game on consoles along the full 1.0 release. So yeah, in a hot minute. And it's possible 1.0 could launch later this year. I mean, sure, we're in the 0.4 phase, but they did say that they were intending to drop 4 or 5 updates in the coming weeks. That's a pretty steady schedule and time frame. So who knows? We could see it by Christmas. But for the sake of argument, I will be conservative here. It might just be likely it'll be a year from now. That gives me plenty of time to work with this content and allows for some breathing room to cover Battlefield 6, War Dogs if I can get access to it, Bellum, and some other titles that have caught my eye. Plenty of things to chew on for everyone. And all of that aside, the game is steadily growing, not just in development, but in community. Jacob said 60,000 people tested the Spearhead preview. That's a pretty decent-sized crowd for an indie game of this caliber. The game looks amazing and plays pretty smoothly, something I wasn't really expecting when I first fired it up. For an unpolished game, it just plays really well. Even though it is much slower paced than, say, Battlefield 6, there's plenty of tasks to do, missions to run, things to kill, objectives to complete. It's a chill vibe compared to fast and loose arcade shooters. Something to unwind with after long sessions of bullets screaming at you from 90,000 directions, explosions going off left and right, and blowing up inside your tank. For me, Gray Zone Warfare is just a change of pace for me. Something less chaotic to vibe and chill with some friends and hang out where we could talk in normal tones over our headsets, not elevating our voices about contact right, sniper up top, or drone. There's no time limit so far in completing the tasks. You could simply accept the task on a Monday and log off and then run it on Friday when you log back in. And then you could spend all the time you want in completing the tasks from there. Whereas Tarkov, when you go in, you gotta loot your shit and have a small window to get your things and complete your missions, which adds a bit of extra friction to the ever-punishing game mechanics. Not in Gray Zone. They may change that in the future, but right now, I could sit back and take however long I want to go search for intel, kill NPCs bothering the locals, or loot for gear and cash. Rummage through those pockets, boys. There be the almighty dollar hidden in them.
Strap in, we're heading out.
Gray Zone satisfies an itch I have every once in a while. Because it's an active deployment, I don't have that pressure to get shit done immediately. It allows me to squad up with players in the Discord and help them get caught up. From some in the Discord, this will be a genre they don't often play. Helping them navigate among is just as fun as running it solo and doing my own thing. I am going to keep on playing this and see where it goes and where the development takes us. And I'll keep it for Friday drops for now. And speaking of, we circle back to the content for the channel going forward. You guys seem to like the current format, so we'll run with it for the foreseeable future. Battlefield 6 Mondays and Wednesdays, and the Calm and Loose Vibe for Fridays. So as of today, we did 2 back-to-back Friday videos for Gray Zone. I'm checking out Incursion Red River as well. It was on sale, so I picked it up. Operator has been suggested, so we even have plenty of interest in other titles. Okay, so let's see. Battlefield 6, War Dogs, Bellum, Incursion Red River, Operator, Gray Zone Warfare. Hell, I believe Arma Reforger was on the list somewhere. DayZ was even mentioned. Who knows, maybe a return to the Division once 3 is launched. I'm kind of burned out on the Division 2, but we have some active Battlefield players considering firing up the old Reliable and hitting the OG Division again. I mean, we have a ton of options to do hood rat shit in. And that's what we're all after. My hood rats, we have so much ground to cover. It's not just the games, but us playing the games. Basically a digital equivalent of getting together with the boys on a Saturday to drink, smoke, swear, and play some cards. And that's what we do here, folks. This isn't a channel that glorifies one thing over another. It's not about crashing games or systems that seems to fail a small minority of whatever game community you belong to. It's about the vibe of firing up a title and just playing it. We care more about that than map sizes, content drop frequency, or perceived corporate greed. We just want to have fun. If you're not down with that, you're on the wrong goddamn channel. But if you are down with that, this channel has plenty of content. It also has the usual suspects for plugs, ways to support, hell, even a merch store. My members felt it prudent to do more than just subscribe. They continue their support monthly. Some of you went to the supply room and grabbed channel gear. Seriously, the pictures you guys send me with the mugs that you buy and shit is awesome. And you even find me in-game and squad up. All of this means everything to me. We're small, but we're growing. The channel is growing as we near 3K in subs. People come to the Discord every week to hang out with us. We even got into a heavy discussion the other day about my absolute refusal to eat okra because that shit is an abomination against all that is just and good in the universe. So you could say that we get into some lively conversations as we kill things on our screens. So if you want to come hang out, the Discord is open. If, for whatever reason, the link in the description isn't working, just send me a comment in the video and I'll provide you with a fresh one. And speaking of the video description, this is important, but it's the end of the video, so I'll be quick. Every month I highlight a specific veteran support group. Myself, many of my friends, and most of my family served in the 4 branches of the United States military. So this allows me to continue serving at some capacity. And for April, it's the Wounded Warriors Project. At the very bottom of the description, you'll find a briefing and a link. See if you're interested in supporting our Wounded Warriors. Thanks. And with that, I will leave you to your weekend, folks. Be safe, have fun, come back and see me Monday. Until then, out.